is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the North End Podcast, episode 40. My name is Zach Graham, your host here on the North End Podcast, joined, as always, by my good buddy. He's on record as my best friend. It's Ian Me Show. We call him E, a.k.a. LaE James, a.k.a. Sebastian Drew Easy, a.k.a. Eastradamus, a.k.a. Pap E, O'Daniel, a.k.a. Chili, Willie, a.k.a. E, Jan Stonkel. E, midweek here, Austin, Texas. Sun came out to end the day here. Sun's supposed to be out on Saturday for our match against Colorado. But how you feeling, my friend? It's been a couple days.
I'm feeling very excited about this upcoming game. I'm ready to go, ready to get back to the queue. Yeah. Got a couple buds coming who have never been to a game. So they're about to get their first experience with the Verde, one that will be a great one.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll preview that match against Colorado, the current wooden spoon holders. But let's start with some news because we got some, and maybe that's an understatement. Maybe it's an overstatement. We'll probably have to wait a little bit to see this guy debut. But last night on Tuesday, T.O. Tony, Anthony Precourt, dropping the green smoke out of nowhere, sending the Austin FC fanverse into a tizzy. Speculation abound. The prevalent take, I think, was it's got to be a center back, right? Or for the more aggressive types, it better be a center back. Then this morning, right around 10 a.m. Central, it is indeed a center back. Austin FC signed Alexander Radovanović from Serbian side KV. This is going to be a bad one. Kortrijk? Spell that Kortrijk. It's very Serbian.
Yeah.
He's 29 years old. Transfer market value, $550,000. I believe the high point for him, $1.4 million in terms of his transfer market value. That was when he was, I believe, with Lens in League Two out there in France, and was actually part of a promotion push. They ended up getting promoted into League One and then, or League Un, I guess, if I want to add a little culture in there. Kind of a downturn from then on. I think he didn't seem to really be in favor once they did make it to that French first division. And then so far with this Serbian side, had some success, but then they got a new coach last fall, and it doesn't seem like he's really been in the team, certainly not in favor since then. And we know, some of the Austin FC sleuths went digging for more information, of course, on Radovanović, and, friend of the pod, really friend of every Austin FC pod at this point, Kevin Morris, of course, one of the guys that we always look to for the deep dives like this. It does appear like he was having some controversy with the new coach. And he had, I think, been in their winter transfer window looking for another place to play. I think there were some pretty good teams based on, again, other people's knowledge, not mine. Kevin said he was, I believe, being scouted by a team out of Warsaw, Legia Warsaw. And then also was in rumors tied to the Crew, Columbus Crew, earlier in the MLS offseason. So now making his way to Austin. Interesting thing about this loan, it expires on June 30th. There is a purchase option there. He will occupy that 20th and final senior roster spot, also an international spot. But knowing that it's a short-term loan, option to buy, knowing the penchant for these European signings, or really international signings coming from anywhere over the first 2+ years here in Austin, that the visa process can sometimes take a frustratingly long time to be completed. Then we know Coach Wolf, not really the guy that's just going to throw somebody out there. Even Driussi had to wait one game coming off the bench before really, we just opened up the throttle for the MVP candidate there. What's your take? Again, neither of us obviously have any knowledge about this guy, prior knowledge about this guy. I will say, again, just going to Kevin's words and not mine, he said he was playing at a very similar level and achieving similar results as Ruben Gabrielson when Ruben was at Toulouse. He finished third in League Two that year. So what are your thoughts on Radovanović now? I saw some people, man, saying like, does this guy even get games with the visa process and the ramp up process? And I think it's a fair question.
Yeah. I'm not sure what question you're asking me here. But the timing is interesting. Obviously, we have a need on that back line. He's left-footed. He is. Which I found interesting as well.
Yeah. Now he and Leo, the only two left-footed center backs we got.
Yep. So from what I saw, and I know Kevin Morris had like a lot of information on that. Yeah. He hasn't played since November.
Yeah. Coach hasn't played him.
Real game time.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell if this is like a stopgap kind of measure for Julio and his prognosis and everything that's going on with his injury. And we're just trying to like slap a little duct tape on this and survive till he gets back, or if this is going to be something that we, pursue further and purchase his deal at the end of this loan on the 30th of June. Again, how fast can he get here is the largest question for me right now. I did get to watch a small kind of highlight film on him. He likes to slide. He likes to slide tackle. That's for sure. Strong with the left foot. Looks like he's got some Vizani. Oh, excuse me. How do we say it? Jean
Kolmanic.
Jean Kolmanic.
Shout out, I believe, Ari on Instagram. Hit us up. Let us know. We're always looking for the help with the pronunciation. Yeah. So Ari answering the call for us. Really appreciate that from her.
So it looked like a lot of the similar type of balls that Kolmanic plays. Oh man, it was right at the tip of my tongue, and I was like, "Ah, shit, just bail." All right, so I went with the Kolmanic there. We saw with Caruso that we can get a loan, and he might not really touch the field. So again, for me, it's just how soon can he get here, and then we can start to evaluate. Hey, how does he play in our system? How is coach acclimating to him into the lineups, and go from there. But I mean, it would make sense that we'd be trying to get some help on the center back line as fast as possible and move Rank back up to the midfield. So I do hope that, everything's in order in regard to visas and all of that process, and that he gets here as quick as possible.
Yeah. And I'm glad, this is why, we got a little bit of rapport over the years. I can really not point you in any particular direction, not ask you a good question, but you pretty much gave me exactly what I wanted to hear there. So props to you, sir. I think I'm with you there. Maybe I'm being overly optimistic, which I think I've said plenty this week on last week's episode. Said it multiple times on Soccer Matters with Glenn Davis on Tuesday. I think that's just the mode that I'm in right now, is trying to look at all the positives and think that maybe this visa process for him is going to be a little bit more expedited than we've seen with some of our other mid-season additions. There are 11 matches between now and the beginning of June. So obviously then we have the entire month of June with matches as well. So I saw some people questioning, whether or not he would play before June. I think as long as that visa process is completed by, let's say, mid-April, which is 3.5 weeks from right now, I think we see him by May, just out of necessity. And maybe he's not starting over Alex right away. I think probably not. But I think it's just we got to get this guy some time, because we're 3 weeks into the Julio prognosis. I think 3 out of the 8, and that's just till the reevaluation point.
Yep.
So we still have a long way to go with that. And again, I'm saying I think we need to get him minutes without ever seeing him play live. It's just that I still have trust in this front office that they have scouted this guy, that he's going to be able to come in and at least fill in some minutes for us and not hit us with a back pass that leads to an opponent's goal or an own goal. Like, you would think that this guy, with the experience that he's had in League Two and then in League One, despite not having as much playing time once they got to that first division, you would think that this guy could be solid enough where he could come to MLS and not totally shit the bed. But it can be tough to say because we didn't have that conversation about Amro Tarek because we didn't feel like it was needed. But like, this is not a dissimilar signing either. So the possibility is certainly still open that this doesn't really work out, but it's not a long-term deal.
I mean, what does this say about Tarek?
That he's probably done for good?
Like, he's done, right?
Yeah. The Kip is not done.
No.
At least with the club.
We know that. I mean, this makes the Tarek signing look bad.
Yeah.
Like, really bad. Like, this is what Tarek is here for. Yeah. He is supposed to be that depth that we can shift in.
Yeah.
So I'll say this about the new signing as well. Like, is he fit? He hasn't played since November.
Yeah,
we know coach will not play you if you are not fit. That's just what it is. I mean, so I appreciate your optimism, but to say, you know, to be totally confident in the front office, given the turmoil and just the complete disaster that Tarek has been, we would have advanced in CCL if he just wasn't on the team.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So I don't know. Again, it just, how soon can he get here? I'm skeptical about that process, but I would assume, yes, given the situation, the people that are in place in this organization understand the timeline of this injury and what should already be in place to get this process expedited as fast as we can to get him in here. Now, does it make sense to pair two left-footed center backs together?
I did have that thought cross my mind as well. I don't have the depth of soccer knowledge to say that, but on the surface, it feels like no.
I mean, not that I can go to a plethora of games like in the back of my head, but I don't recall a single time that I've seen a double left-footed center back pairing. Double left-footed.
Dual left-footed center backs?
I don't know. I haven't even seen it with some person like fucking around on FIFA.
Yeah, I mean, I can't recall a time that I've seen that, but maybe some of our our listeners who have a wider breadth of soccer knowledge and history can let us know if that is something that really ever occurs, or maybe if it's popular in some places or on some teams. I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me.
Because then, exactly, like we saw from the small highlight clips that I've seen of him, obviously one of his stronger points in his game is the long ball with the left foot, breaking the lines. Now, that's going to be very difficult to perform if he's on the right side of the line.
Sure.
So, very interesting. Really just needing people back here so bad. And the fact that Tarek and Kip are just not, I mean, we have to just basically assume that they're just going to be unavailable going forward. They're not going to be on the roster.
I'm actually not going to assume that when we get to our lineup predictions and stuff, at least with our young draft pick there. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. I guess for me, like, beginning of June is, 10 weeks away, 9.5 weeks away. I think he gets in a game before then, especially because I don't think Julio is going to be back before then. But again, maybe I'm just being too optimistic. I don't know.
I mean, if I had to take a bet on if he would play before June, I think I would take that and say, yes, he would. But still, we need people back here as fast as possible.
Right. I think at the end of the day, all of us are, maybe not all of us, I can't speak for every Austin FC fan on this one, but I'm certainly happy that the team is addressing the need, even if it's not an immediate fix, right? Like we especially if we both think that Tarek is never going to play for this team again, like, and maybe is Tarek now the buyout candidate?
I have no idea. It looks so bad now.
Yeah, I mean,
it's terrible.
My dream summer transfer window is you get rid of Gite because they've got that purchase option. He hasn't been great over there in League One, but maybe they get relegated and they purchase him. So if we got Gite out, you buy out Rodney, then those two U22 spots are open. You can buy out Alex Ring, or not buy out, buy down. Excuse me. Definitely don't want to buy out Alex Ring. But then you have the space to bring in that third full DP. Now, what position that is, who it is, I don't know. But to me, like, obviously adding a player of that caliber, I think if you're really losing Gite, who is not here, Rodney, who doesn't play, and we still have Alex, to me, that would be like the dream summer scenario. But I think that's far-fetched. That's why it's a dream scenario. And I think maybe now Tarek is the favorite to get bought out, because I'm sure not every MLS team uses that annual buyout, but to me, it seems like with team building, there's probably some fat on most rosters that you can trim with that clause. So yeah, I think that may just be becoming more and more likely now that we've added Radovanović.
Doesn't make it any better.
No, it doesn't. You can't. They're not all home runs.
It would have been good if it was a bunt.
Yeah, you're right.
We're back to baseball.
That's enough baseball for this one, or ever, I think. Let's go ahead and get into this weekend's match, because we obviously won't see Radovanović yet, and there are a number of players, many players, big names across the league, sitting out this weekend on international duty, because they call it the international break, but MLS is not taking a break here. And I don't know if that kind of stems back from when MLS was a younger league and we didn't have all of these names going out on international duty. But it sure does seem like that it would be nice to give the teams this week off. Like, Austin's not in a terrible way outside of center back right now because Leo's not going to be here, but there's some other teams that are missing like 5 starters, which is just, it's wild to make them play through that. Anyways, Colorado, they will be missing a couple players, but first let's go through the history, because this is always going to be, I like previewing that Houston match with the history between those two teams. Even, we'll continue to like that. We're still up 4-2 on those guys. Colorado, we are 2-2-1 against them, but April 24th, 2021, Austin FC's first ever win as a franchise. Den Verde will always be etched into the Austin FC lore. Diego Fagundez's first goal for Austin FC, first goal in club history, 3-1 win out there in Denver. July 31st, they came here. If you'll remember, you, me, Schnorr Jones, Tom was there. 1-0 loss. Andre Shinyashiki, former Rookie of the Year, now with Charlotte FC, the 1 goal there. Then September 29th, we went back up to Denver, lost 3-0. Colorado was a much better team that year than they were last year, or certainly so far this season, 2022 season. 4th of July, bring back the 4th of July games. 3-2 Austin, comeback win at Colorado after being down 2-0 early. Kip Keller picked up a red card in that one, and Austin FC saw out the win. That was also, like, you remember, over-the-top pass to Finley, taps it in. Maxey scores the go-ahead goal after his previous goal was called back for offside, or a handball, excuse me.
Yes.
He runs around telling everybody, and now.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good one. October 9th, 2022, Torch of Rage. Abubakar no call, 1-1 draw. So looking to avenge that no call. Official this weekend, Ted Unkel on the call. So favorite official. Yeah, get ready for another torch of rage. We'll just bring that to the stadium with us. Colorado through 4 weeks, currently the spoon holders. That doesn't mean much, but it is clear that this team is struggling, and fair to say that they are at least below average at this point. They're sitting on just 1 point through their first 4 matches. Lost 4-0 to Seattle on the road in the opener. Drew SKC at home. Lost 1-0 to San Jose on the road, and then lost 2-1 at home to Minnesota last week after scoring their first goal of the season early in that one, going up and then eventually, obviously, dropping that game. Cole Bassett scored that goal. Michael Barrios was the one on the assist. Like I mentioned, 2 big players here out on international duty. Darren Yappy, the young striker. You'll remember him from that game last year, the 1-1 draw. He was actually in for Gyasi Zardes in that game as Colorado was playing out the string. Yappy, we were both, I think, impressed with him physically, but he didn't get much going. Then Gyasi came in, hit the post right in front of us there in the north end. Also, Diego Rubio out for international duty. So 2 key pieces to this Colorado team not available this coming Saturday. And then Jack Price, just the centerpiece of this Colorado roster, who I believe spent most of last year injured as well. Tore his Achilles last game, out for the year. You hate to see it for any player, any team. It doesn't like even an injury like that for me just like breaks even rivalry barriers. You hate to see that happen to somebody.
Absolutely terrible. I mean, they're going to be without some very key components of the roster. Rough start to the season. I did jump on a couple threads that had some Colorado fans in it, and they were basically saying, see you in 24.
Yeah, we're done. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just
for sure. And obviously, never want to see someone of that caliber go down. And just a really tough injury. So wishing him the best for sure. But we can only play who's in front of us, and that's what we shall do.
FOTMOB ratings for these Colorado guys. Cole Bassett up top with a 7.3 rating. Connor Ronan, I think he may have just played 1 game, a 7. Max Alvis, 6.68. Keegan Rosenberry. So, you don't see any of the big names or the recognizable names from Colorado up top here. So, again, just illustrating how rough of a start to the season it has been. And let's make it rougher on Saturday. Austin's certainly going to have to overcome the absence of Leo Väisänen. Owen Wolf also overseas with the U20s. They took on the French U20s today, which, like, just as an aside here for that French U20 team, I watched about a half of that match. No, like, unsurprisingly, those guys are really fucking good. Logan in the Los Del Rio Slack had this information. I've loved this. This was great. This U20 France team has Touré, who's valued at $5 million, 17 games in Ligue 1. Ba valued. Did you see this? Valued at $1 million. Michaud, that's very close to Michaud.
I was like, that's my boy.
Yeah. Do you think that's pronounced Michaud?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, Michaud.
Send me the check, cousin.
Valued at $2.5 million. 17 games in the championship. Duth valued at $12 million. Cho valued at $15 million. 16 games in the Liga. Wahi, $18 million. 24 games in Ligue 1 with 12 goals. This is all U20 players for France.
Did you say 18 million?
18 million, 24 Ligue 1 games, 12 goals.
Jesus.
There is still a wide gap between France and the United States in terms of the soccer quality. Although, we've got some big names on the U20 roster too, but clearly outclassed today. Let's get back to the Austin side of things. We can just go right into the lineup predictions, lineup desires, if you will. And I'll start us off this episode, E. I kind of hinted at it earlier. I think you start Kip Keller in this game.
I'm just realizing I forgot about Leo.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I have seen some people speculating, is it going to be a Lima Ring pairing or are we going to do something else funky? To me, I just don't see, if you don't play him here, then I'm on the, then he's not playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not playing anytime soon because we know it's not going to be Tarek, right? We know it's not going to be Tarek. And Leo, we have a bye next week. So Leo will be back for that road match at LAFC. Obviously, we fucking need him for that one.
Mm.
But like, if we don't play Kip after he went out in 25, 30 minutes in the DR, Haitian fans on his ass the entire time. And like, it's not like he covered himself in glory out there, but he also did not fuck anything up and was far from the worst player on the pitch. Back in the friendly confines against what is right now the worst team in the standings, with no other center back options, true center backs outside of Tarek on the roster, when else do we play him? So like, I think this is like, if we see him in the team, especially in the 11, 20,738 all behind him, cheering him on. Like, let's get this guy back in the team, because especially if Radovanović isn't available until June, we're gonna need some Kip between now and then, because we can't run Alex that ragged either. So after that Kip Keller rant, I just think this is the time. Let's see him in the starting 11.
I'm with it.
Yeah,
and I trust Kip more than Tarek, and yeah, you're right. This is the game to get him in.
Hey, no Yappy on the other side either. Like, that helps.
Yeah. All right. So give me the rest of it.
We got no Owen. So I think my desire is Jeffel and Danny in that defensive midfield. I'm not super convinced we're not going to see Valencia again. And I'm not like upset if we see him. I would like to see Jeffel in the team. But again, if he's not, then it means he's not earning it in practice then. So I think I would like to see Johnny go back to the left. Let's get Nick Lima, who should be on fresh legs. Let's get him back on the right, give Zani a little rest. And then we know that we can move Johnny to the right if we bring Jean in. There you go. Shout out Ari again. Or if you keep Lima in, you bring Jean in, then John can go up and maybe play some minutes at the left or right wing, which we know, like, there's questions about Diego's fitness. Even though Rigoni has been solid, quoting Josh Wolf, right? Been one of our most solid players. He's also played a ton so far this year. So I think starting Johnny on the left, if you've got Diego in there, maybe you get that pairing kind of working again, because Johnny and Diego were so good on that left side last year. And it's clearly not like, obviously Diego's got his own stuff to worry about with his conditioning, but I think getting maybe John over there instead of Jean would be maybe something that I would like to see. But my two main things, I want to see Kip and I would like to see Jeffel. And then Zardes back up top. That's an easy one for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with that. And if you go Kip there, you got to start Alex.
Yes. He's there regardless.
Yeah, he's got to be there. Nick back on the right. Okay. Yes, I'm definitely pro Jeffel there, just given on what we saw from the last game. Obviously that they don't have a player like Ache over there who Valencia really has to, get a body on and be aware of throughout the entire, course and duration of the game. Yeah. So I think I'm with that. I definitely Giassi back up front. I want that. Rigoni has seen quite a bit of minutes here. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little Finley action up there for him, and have Rigoni come off the bench in that 60th, which he had been used to doing from his earlier days with the club. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty lock and step with you on this one. I do want to see Jeffel on the roster at least.
Yeah.
For sure. And this is a chance for him too. And remember, he's kind of gotten lost in the absurdity part of this season.
Yeah.
They were he was the Revs, right?
DC.
Okay, yes. The matchup got me mixed up.
Yeah.
But they were pretty upset about losing him. And he has a solid pedigree, and I think again when we saw, especially in that Houston game, no Owen, no Giassi, our build-up was really lacking. And we were detached again in that same kind of way that we were. I think it was verse it's escaping me right now. I can't remember which game it was where I said that earlier on the pod, but
Mm-hmm.
we got to have somebody up there pushing that pace and break those lines for us. And Valencia is not going to do it.
Right. we talked about his speed on Sunday's episode, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
All right. Well, score predictions. How much is Austin FC winning by? I think I have a hunch based on, we shared some of the betting ideas before we went live.
Yes.
How much is Austin FC winning by?
They're going to win by 3 goals.
Okay.
I got them winning this game 4-1.
Okay. 4-1. Massive blowout. I'm sure everybody. Yeah, we need it.
We need it. We need it. The club needs it. The fans need it. This is a team that we can get hot. We can get hot in this team and like start to build something really positively especially on the offensive side of the ball, where we've also been very much lacking, missing our opportunities.
Yeah. Let's take that lid off the net, right? Let's get some good vibes going into the bye week. And then you're getting ready, 2 weeks getting ready for LAFC on the road.
Correct.
And, no excuses about shorthanded back line. Colorado is shorthanded as well. More shorthanded than we are, losing Price and Rubio and Yappy this week. So I'm going to go 3-1. Not quite as high on, getting 4 goals. I would love it. And it's tough. I know we've said this multiple times. It's tough to pick a clean sheet. But especially with Leo out of there, I just can't, with the right mind, say, oh yeah, we're just going to shut this team out. Although I'm not surprised if they aren't able to score, as how disjointed they've been to start the year. This is a team that has 1 goal through 4 matches. So
for sure. And I mean, just from a demoralization standpoint, what they've gone through recently, we thought shit was on fire with us here. Like,
imagine being a Colorado fan.
It's really bad over there. So yeah, absolutely. And I think I was kind of locked into the 4-1 given my bets that are coming up later. Yeah. Because I was like, I can't take the clean sheet here because it's going to be a little shaky on the back line, but definitely feel super confident that we're going to go ahead and get 3 points on Saturday here and show a good time to my buddies Mitch and Pilly.
Absolutely. Can't wait to be at Q2 with all of our friends. Soccer Church introducing Mitch and his buddy. Yeah, it's going to be great. Not the only game preview we have this week. Austin FC 2. Let's get into last business day here. Austin FC 2 kicking off their inaugural season this Friday at Palmer Field, 8 p.m. Tickets still available, to my knowledge. And they're kicking it off with a rivalry match. Dynamo Dos coming to town. Dynamo Dos last season in Next Pro, 14-5-5. That was good for 3rd in the Western Conference, 4th in the Next Pro Shield standings. They ended up making the conference semifinals last year, so bowing out a little bit early in those playoffs. But they struggled on the road compared to at home, where they were unblemished, 10-0-1 at home, undefeated, 4-4-4 on the road. So certainly a team that you wanted to see on the road last season. They ended up with a +16 goal differential in the 2022 season. Their leading scorer was Marcelo Palomino, who is now in the Swedish 2nd division. He had 7 goals for Dynamo Dos last year. Looking through their roster, I'm sure there is some guys that I overlooked who have a pretty decent pedigree as prospects. I couldn't find anything immediately that was like, oh, that guy's name is super recognizable to me, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I don't feel like I need to do too much of a deep dive on Dynamo Dos anyway. So let's talk about our guys here. Okay. Word is CJ Fodre going to be available on the bench for Austin FC 2 tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on Fodre getting back healthy here? Obviously, we've seen him posting pictures, practice, hanging out with some of the Austin FC 2 guys in his downtime. And then in the team preview or the team update that is now that content trickling onto MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. I think a majority of the game's going to be broadcast. I'm not certain about Friday night. But what are your thoughts about Fodre playing now with Austin FC 2? And I guess do you think we see him with the first team anytime in the near future?
Super happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really imagine how much of a letdown it would be to get drafted and then instantly be hurt.
Yeah.
You're coming off your college career and, he's done everything that he should have done, properly to be prepared, and he just suffered an injury. So super excited for him to get some time. I hope he sees the pitch for sure. I'd be excited about that. Unfortunately, I won't be there this Friday, but I will be at some Austin FC 2 games for sure, cheering these boys on. Now remind me, what happened with Bobo?
I believe he is on international duty with Uganda, okay. I believe. And I think, that's their men's national team. It's not a youth thing for Bobosi. Yeah. Brahwanga, I believe is how you say that. But again, not great with the culture here. He was named to the Ugandan men's national team roster for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifying matches. A pair of games, first against Tanzania on the 24th. And that's in Egypt. And then a pair of games against Tanzania, first in Egypt and then on the 28th in Tanzania. Bobosi said, honored to be called up to represent my country for these important matches as we work hard to qualify for next year's Cup of Nations. Again, he's 21 years old and he's already made 11 international appearances for Uganda, including 6 of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. So this is obviously a guy with that international pedigree, and it's we got to watch a little bit of him 6 weeks ago, maybe a little longer now, in that preseason match against Roots Academy. He looked spry, he looked good, athletic, and I actually thought he was still maybe physically maturing into his body even at age 21. He was fun to watch, man.
I was really impressed with his patience with the ball. It looked like years ahead of a 21-year-old. So I was definitely impressed with that aspect of his game. But look, we got some exciting players on this team.
Oh yeah.
Rodriguez, Todre,
Vela.
Yep, Vela. Obviously Bobo. It's going to be an exciting team, and I'm just happy for all those dudes to be able to play in a meaningful. You know what I mean? They've been waiting.
Oh yeah. Well, we can't leave out the other 3 draft picks, right? Like Valentino Noel, our boy Jackson Faulty, Sal Mazzaferro. We saw all those guys plenty in the preseason, and so really excited to see those guys get to work in a meaningful game as well. Czech Toure, Anthony Deanda, our academy guy who's now with us in FC2, EJ Johnson, Pinot Sebastian from Chile. Yep. All of these guys that we've seen some highlights, we've seen their names, we've seen the hype, and now getting to see them on the pitch, at the pitch, super exciting. So excited to be out there with the folks, not just on Friday, but throughout the rest of the season. Without any knowledge here, why don't we do score predictions for Austin FC 2? How much are they beating Dynamo Dos by on Friday?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is just a stab in the dark. We're going 2-1.
2-1?
2-1.
All right.
Austin
I'm
FC
going to say, flip this fucking script. 2-0.
All right.
Give it back to them, just last week, and this time with the second team. But, show the first team what needs to be done in our rivalry matches. 2-0 Austin FC 2. Let's get it done.
Okay.
One piece of MLS news just to touch on here. Today, Minnesota United officially announced Sangbin Jong for the transfer from Wolves, U22, 3-year deal for Jong. So good for them. Obviously, they are needy right now without Emmanuel Reynoso. Let's go ahead and get into the best ball update here. For week 4. You could see it in our faces. You can hear it in our voices. And if you're following us on Twitter, you saw the results already. Another brutal week for the good guys here. Hey, we improved that 25 may end up being our low mark for the season. I hope it is, but we didn't do much better. Just 30 points for your boys here at the North End last week. We caught 4 DNPs. Cucho Hernandez got injured. He's out more than 3 weeks. Lorenzo Insigne also picked up. He got hurt again, re-aggravated the soft tissue injury. Obviously, Taxi Founta's still out. Evander did not play because of injury. We're hurting right now, man. 30 points on the week.
Hurting.
Georgi Petrovic still our MVP. 8 more points from the Revolution keeper. Let's jump to the winners of the week, and now in front in the standings by just a single point. We Are Austin TV leapfrogs Moon Tower once again into the number 1 spot. 56 points on the week. 26 points of those coming from Thiago Almada. 2 goals, 2 assists. The highest fantasy score on the year thus far. 26 points from Almada. Didn't hurt that they also got 7 from Jesus Ferreira, 7 from Jose Martinez, and 9 from Sean Johnson with the clean sheet. Their team they look like a monster right now. Thiago Almada cannot be stopped.
I mean, it's never good when one player scores as many points as you scored in an entire week. So that's not good business.
I think
maybe those guys, good for them.
Yeah. Maybe we can take some solace that Thiago Almada will be on international duty this week and unavailable. So this is our chance to catch up.
Keep them over
Maybe
there.
None of the people on our team good enough for international duties. So maybe we can catch up here. Moon Tower, strong week themselves. They overcame 3 DNPs and a bye. 45 points for them. 10 from Gazdag. 9 from Bernadeschi. 12 from Romel Kyoto with that late goal there. 6 from Mukhtar. Mediocre week from him. But that's just the depth of this Moon Tower squad, man. They're strong.
Yep. They're better than us.
And then Texas Ring of Fire, back-to-back 43 plus point weeks. They had 43 this week, I believe 45 last week. 8 from Brenner, 7 from Velasco, 10 from Aaron Long, 7 from Martin Paz there in Dallas with the fantastic performance in net against those PKs. PK save gets you 5 points. So total standings here again, like I said, We Are Austin TV up by 198 to 197 over Moon Tower. Mm-hmm. Texas Ring of Fire in third with 168 points. North End Podcast just here so we won't get fined, 143 points through 4 weeks. 30 weeks to go, 30 weeks to go. Just like we said about Austin FC, we're 12% of the way through the season. We got a transfer window coming up. And hey, if we take one more injury up front, we could get to pick a replacement player just so we have enough guys to field a team. You know,
we'll take it.
Yeah, we can get Yorgos in there. Who knows?
Yorgos.
All right, let's get to the bets. And man, tail between our legs on this one too. In terms of our week 4 picks, it did not go well. Couple bad beats in there too, like Philly up 2-1 on Montreal, gets a red card, gets scored on twice in stoppage time. I don't feel too bad about that one. That's just a tough break. It's going to happen over the season.
Yeah, but I mean, that was like our easy money one.
I know. So with Cincinnati plus 180 at Chicago, they end up in a draw 3-3 there on the road. Austin FC, we took plus 195 at Houston. Obviously, the boys did not show up. We had the Maxi Urruti anytime goal plus 230 hits the post. Unfortunate. We had the Quakes to win or draw at St. Louis minus 115. They get drubbed 3-0 by the Cinderella expansion side there. The one hit we did have on the week, Toronto to win and over 1.5 plus 155. That one came through for us and took us away from just having an offer on the week. Minus 3.45 units, down now 6.12 on the season. Bounce back time, though, for Austin FC and for the North End Podcast boys. That's and for our wallets, you know. Right. So we have each this week now. We've did a deeper dive here. We took some of the international call-ups off that list and tried to use that to our advantage. So I've got 4 picks here. I believe you have 3. So I'll start here. Okay. I gave the case for New England against LAFC a few weeks back. Obviously, Carlos Heel did not start that game, then got re-injured, and they got trounced, I think, 4-0 in that one. But I will not be deterred from attacking LAFC, especially when they are down Denny Buanga, Jose Cifuentes, Daniel Maldonado, and Diego Palacios for international duty. FC Dallas only missing Antonio Carrera and Nolan Norris. So give me FC Dallas plus 425 to win at LAFC.
Whew.
And if you want to be a little bit safer, I believe FC Dallas to win or draw plus 130 right now. But I'm going all the way. Over 4-1 here for FC Dallas. Give it to me.
Okay. I like it. My first one.
Yeah.
It's for all the haters. That's why I'm getting it out here first. Giassi Zardes. Anytime goal scorer.
Oh.
Plus 140.
Gets his first one this week.
Versus Old Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. The revenge goal.
Look, we've been saying that the man is due. The team is due. We are going to start scoring goals. It's coming. Giassi getting one this game. I can feel it.
I love it. Zardes plus 140 to score. I'm going back to Philly here. They are missing some big names here. Daniel Gazdag, Damian Lowe, Jose Martinez, Jack McGlynn. But they are at home this week, and they are hosting Orlando City, who was also missing some big names, including Galese, the keeper. He's out there in Peru. Facundo Torres out there for Uruguay. A couple other names on that list. So Philadelphia, we know how deep they are as an organization all the way through their academy ranks. We've seen their rotation in CCL already this year. I think this team takes care of business at home. And I think they continue to score. Again, this team, one of the top scoring teams in the league last year, historic from a blowout perspective with those 6 and 7-0 wins last year. I don't need 6 or 7 to hit this one. Give me Philly to win, over 1.5 on the total. That is plus 105. So Philly to win, over 1.5. Lock it in.
I like it. Yeah, they're too good. They're too good, too deep. Great team. I'm going to go ahead and touch on take advantage of these international breaks and look at a squad that I feel, and most people, well, maybe not most people, but some people, I've talked to some people and they agree with me on this one. Okay. That Minnesota is overachieving a little bit right now.
Sure.
And actually, when we were doing a little research for the Colorado upcoming match, the only game where Colorado has outshot their opponent was in that loss to Minnesota at home. Now we factor in no Boxall.
Fuck Mike Boxall.
I was waiting for it. No Boxall, no Arriaga, no Rosales. So they're also down a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and take another team that really isn't playing too well. Not a very talented team. But still got Ryan Gauld on the squad right now, who we could use a nice game from.
Yeah. Come on, Ryan.
It could be.
Come on, Scotsman.
Could be a nice week for us. You know what? It's going to be a good week. I'm adopting the optimistic mindset.
Yes.
As well. It's going to be a good. Let me get the Ryan Gauld anytime scorer. So we can throw 4 and 4 here. Let's see what we got. Well, I'll do this when you're making your next one. But go ahead and give me Vancouver money line plus 190 versus this Minnesota team in Minnesota. And I'm looking up Ryan Gauld now, and I'll throw it back to you.
Sure. They still, you mentioned Gauld still there. Cordova is still there. Gresso is still there. Takioka in goal. Obviously, he had a bit of a tough week last week, but I like that pick as well. My next one, I'm going to go pick on Houston here. Houston, Carrasquilla out on duty, international duty. NYCFC looking stronger with each passing week as they've added Santi Rodriguez, James Sands, etc. to this rotation. Plus 175 NYCFC to win at Houston. Lock it in and suck it, Dynamo. Also, I just wanted to go back, E. When you say you've talked to people about Minnesota, do you mean me? Yeah, okay. I was just going to say. All right, what are we getting galled? What are we getting galled at here?
We get galled at plus 260.
Nice.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that. Then we're going back to the gold mine that is Austin, Texas. All right. Now, I could have been, a noob.
Yeah.
And just taking them straight up. But we're going to go ahead and take Austin minus 2.5. So,
yeah, fits in your blowout narrative.
So, Austin must win this game by 3 goals
in
order for me to cash this. We're getting that at plus 390. And I think we're due for a blowout. Shit team coming in. Shitty things going on for them. I expect shit on the field from them.
It's a swing. And again, that's a little double danger for us because if we're partying up 3 goals and cashing that plus 390, we'll take that.
I'm an all-in kind of guy.
We'll spend it all on one jellyfish.
I either got to be, if we're all the way up, let's go for it. And if we're down there, let's just keep digging.
Well, I will also get an Austin bet in here. I'm not taking as big of a cut as you, but I will say Austin to win and over 2.5 on the total. That's plus 130.
Okay.
So we'll take that as well. So Ian's picks, Zardes to score plus 140, Galled to score plus 260. Vancouver on the money line plus 190, Austin minus 2.5 plus 390. My picks, FC Dallas to win plus 425, Philly to win and over 1.5 on the total plus 105, and NYCFC plus 175 to win at Houston, and Austin to win and over 2.5 on that total plus 130. Come on, let's go. Week 5, baby. Let's get it. Bounce back.
Let's go.
All right. We appreciate everybody tuning in, rocking with us here on episode 40 of the North End podcast. Our shortest episode, I think, of the season. So maybe I can ramble with the outro here and get us to an hour. I won't put everybody through that.
Do your Jim Carrey joke again.
Yeah. I will not. But I guess the last thing I will say is, I know we said it earlier and we say it a lot before a home game, but extremely excited to be back at the Q, get the good vibes rolling, and see a win. Walk out of there with 3 points, headed into a bye week, and good vibes. 9 points would be above where the team has been in each of the first 2 seasons through 5 matches. So that is what is at stake. That perspective, right, that we harped on, that we ranted on Sunday's episode. Anything else from you before we get out of here?
Looking forward to seeing everybody at the stadium. If we see Kippy, let's be supportive.
Hell yeah.
Let's be encouraging. As someone who has booed him before, I can assure you that I will not be booing this time around. So let's be supportive of him. Man, just for all of our mental health, let's really please win this game, because I will not be able to sit around for 2 weeks and listen to the shit that some people will be saying if we drop this game. And you know what? It might even be justified at that point, because this would be a bad loss. So
absolutely,
we won't have to worry about that. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Be safe at the stadium. Don't throw shit. Cheer for Kip.
Yeah. And don't yell at Jesse Zardes for no reason either. Fuck that guy. If you're listening,
I honestly think he might be.
Yeah.
Because I looked up and I was like, yo, what up? To whatever, to somebody back there, and he was like with them, and I've definitely seen him before, but it was just wild. It was a wild.
Bro, like I said before, it was just like you're not angry at him about the play on the field at that point. You got something else going on with Jassy, and I'm not gonna say what it is, but it felt like that. If you catch my drift.
I can smell it.
All right, everybody.
We got to get out of here.
If you've got 5 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, we would greatly appreciate it. And if you're listening or watching on the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. You can hit the notification bell to know when a new episode goes live or a new live stream pops up. And, like we say all the time, hit the thumbs up on the video. Help us battle the YouTube overlords. Atone for your sins. wash yourself clean in the waters of the North End. We will be back on Sunday recapping the Colorado match, hopefully in good spirits. You know we're going to be in good spirits walking into Q2 to see all of our friends on Saturday. Until then, he's E, I'm Zach. Vamos Austin FC, everybody. Goodbye.